My people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Patala FC. We are within. Difficult to start this video, difficult to share my thoughts without firstly giving salutations and congratulations to Paris Saint-Germain. What happened? What did Luis Enrique say? How did he plan the game to ensure that DeMarco and Dumfries see nothing? To ensure that Bastoni's long passes find no one? To nullify an experienced midfield that Inter had on the night? My goodness, what a performance from Paris Saint-Germain. A performance for the ages, guys. I was staggered. At 2-0, you start to look at the game and say, this could actually be a thrashing. From the kickoff, I had to ask the gents, did PSG give the ball to Inter on purpose? Because from the kickoff, it's like PSG just looped the ball aimlessly. But from that point, as soon as they regained possession from Inter's throw-in, it was game on. And it was game over for Inter, if anything. A beautiful performance. Ballon d'Or shouts, definitely has to be a PSG player. Ousmane Dembele for being an attacker, and with Ballon d'Or winners being attackers every single season, except Rodri. Okay, fine, we'll give Rodri his flowers to some extent. Rogue shout, I would say Achraf Hakimi. Achraf Hakimi deserves it. He would be the first African since George Weah to win the Ballon d'Or. He has to be in the top 3 at least. Of course, Dembele is going to be the name that swirls. And if we're going with the most rogue shout, I'll give it to Donnarumma. Donnarumma, what more can you do as a goalkeeper to earn the Ballon d'Or? What else can you do really across the season? He was clutch throughout the campaign. But I'd like to share my thoughts on the UEFA competitions overall, because this new league format is officially concluded across all UEFA competitions. Winners of the Champions League, of course, Paris Saint-Germain. Europa League saw Tottenham Hotspurs lift the trophy, and Chelsea Football Club took the Conference League. Now, we had league formats. I believe in the Champions League and Europa, they had 8 games respectively in the league phase, whilst Chelsea had 6 games in the league phase. I think Europa League could have also been 6 games. I didn't check that, guys. Forgive me or correct me. But I believe we saw beautiful matches across the league phases. Maybe not in the Conference League, to be honest, because we don't really know most of those teams if you watch the top 5 leagues in Europe. But you look at Europa League, you look at the Champions League precisely. There were so many clashes that you would have never seen in the previous format. We do miss the previous format to some degree because it was more like a tit for tat. I go to your home ground, you come to mine, who's the best in the group? Top 2, we proceed. But now we get to see players score more goals. We get to see more tactical analysis from managers who face different teams every single week from so many countries across Europe. So that tactical analysis, that perspective of the game, there's more enjoyment for the football fan, in my opinion. So we're enjoying that. I really enjoyed that. Of course, you're going to get a player getting maybe closer to Ronaldo's record in terms of a Champions League campaign, scoring a number of goals. I think the record remains at 17. I don't know if Rafinha matched it or he was very close to Ronaldo's record. But yeah, it's beautiful in that case. And next season, of course, I get to see the club I love contend in that league phase. I'm very keen for the experience in terms of where we go, how we experience it. But overall, the Champions League was beautiful. I think PSG, if you look at their journey, looking at the Champions' journey, they lost to Arsenal in the league phase. At a time where they were warming up, they had to go through the playoffs. Unfortunately for Brest, they were destroyed by PSG in those playoffs. But from that moment, Luis Enrique became a different man. It's like he realized as soon as we enter the round of 16, we have a chance at winning this trophy. And they were immense in the knockout phases of the competition. From day one, except that game against Villa where they were exposed, that second half against Villa, that was the most vulnerable PSG were. You could see the frustration in the players for failing to control the game at Villa Park. But outside of that, guys, what? It's just crazy. Props to the team. Congratulations on their first ever Champions League. Easy to say that Mbappe might have been the problem. You know, because what Luis Enrique said, he praised his forward man, Ousmane Dembele, saying that he defended from the front. Let's commend, let's appreciate the defensive side of Dembele's game, setting the tone for the team. And it was key. Inter couldn't even possess the ball. They couldn't get comfortable in possession in this game. Inzaghi was tactically outclassed by Enrique. And of course, you look at Enrique, you say, oh, treble winner at Barca, now treble winner at PSG, that Barcelona DNA shining through. There were moments where I was watching that Vitinha and Joao Neves partnership, and I'm thinking, this might be the closest thing to Xavi and Iniesta. That's major praise. I understand that, guys, but it looked that way. That's how comfortable they are in terms of their chemistry. And then Desiree Doué. You allow young players like that to shine when the midfield has that solid block, that control. A lot of people are saying that Barca should have made it to the final. Maybe it could have been a better final. I don't know if I share that sentiment. PSG were on a mission. How do you stop that PSG team yesterday? Who would have stopped them in that form? Hakimi going forward. Mendes knowing when to go forward and stay back. Nuno Mendes easily the best left back in the world. Hakimi easily the best right back in the world right now. Hence, these players deserve Ballon d'Or shouts, you know. As I've said, you guys know this. I'm not a big fan of individual awards in football, but what a performance by Paris Saint-Germain. And I would love to speak a bit on the Europa League, and Spurs didn't really watch much of that, except for the final and maybe the Bodo Glimt game, and then Man United against Bilbao that got both teams into the final. With us, Chelsea, I've given you guys my thoughts throughout the season, so we ain't gonna be redundant on the channel, yeah? But blessings, y'all. Shout out for tuning in. I'll be back this week. We finna cook some randomized content. Still have to drop my lengthy thoughts on Liam Delap signing for Chelsea. Definitely. Club World Cup will be loading soon. We'll be there in America, previewing, waking up at 3 a.m. for games. Madness, guys. But blessings, y'all. Hope your Sunday's been great. Thank you for tuning in again. My people.